A very good evening. We'll start in a minute or so. So earlier in the last session, we have completed close to 10, 11 questions on para completion. Today, our focus is going to be para summary. Again, one or two questions which are left over we'll solve, and maybe 8 to 9 questions we'll solve on para summary. Most of these questions are past CAT questions, and I have made sure these are higher level and high quality questions. You'll realize once we start solving these questions. So let us start. So you have 2 to 3 minutes, read everything and try and answer. Roughly speaking, in CAT, you will have para completion or para summary questions which will be close to 150 to 200 words. I'll say on average 2 minutes are sufficient for such questions to read everything, summarize, and mark answer. Let me start this for you. Historians have established that parts of Bangalore were inhabited since the time of Western Ganga dynasty, AD 350 to AD 550, and played a role in fortunes of Chola, Hoysala, Vijayanagar empires. So we are trying to tell you, the passage is trying to tell you, Bangalore is old and it is very important and has played critical role in rise and fortune of these three empires. Now, why is it important? Let us see the elaboration. As the place was situated in a strategic location at the center of South Indian Peninsula. So its location is unique, its location is of vital importance. In spite of this hoary history, the founding date of city is usually given as AD 1537. So even after this long history, it is very old. It is around. It was established around AD 350. People say, historians say, that the establishing year was AD 1537, when 𝒘𝒃𝒃𝒔𝒕𝒂𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒊 I built a mud fort which was later fortified by Hyder Ali in 18th century. So after 300 years, it was fortified. This fort was nucleus of what is now commonly known as the Pete area, a Bangalore that preceded the arrival of the British. With the defeat of Tipu Sultan in Srirangapatnam, the British army garrisoned itself in vicinity of old area of Bangalore, thus laying the foundation of Bangalore cantonment in the early 19th century. So what I'm able to understand from this is, in a manner, I am reading history of Bangalore. It's the city itself, not exactly city, the settlements, I'll say, started very far back. Couple of kingdoms rose, their fortunes rose from this location. It is very well situated. So we are hearing good things about Bangalore. And then we are talking about Hyder Ali fortified a mud structure built by 𝒘𝒃𝒃𝒔𝒕𝒂𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏 I. And once Britishers defeated Tipu Sultan in Srirangapatnam, British garrisoned itself. Garrison means they started creating more army or military settlements in the vicinity of old city area of Bangalore. What is old city area? The Pete area, where the original fort is, where the original settlements are there. So in a manner, we are talking about expanding of city. In a manner, we're talking about not only history, but also expanding of the city. And this was called Bangalore Cantonment in early 19th century. So which of these options best completes the para? For a significant part of its history, Bangalore was a divided city. Nowhere we have talked about different people staying together or communities or religions. No division has been spoken as such so far up to this point. So this makes no sense. That will be a completing sentence. And again, the history is still continuing. Through the 19th century, the cantonment gradually expanded and acquired a distinct cultural and political salience as it was governed directly by British. Seems like it. We'll come back to this as it is going on to further explain more about what happened in cantonment area. It acquired a distinct cultural and political importance, as it was governed by British. This was the beginning of a very different Bangalore from one that existed around the old fort. Very good. This also seems like an appropriate ending. The overwhelming influence of British also bequeathed a particular libertarian culture character to the cantonment, and that conservative residents of the city both loathed and longed for the same at the same time. So here this one seems out of character. Here it is more unique or more specific about cantonment, only cantonment region. And again, residents, so far we have not discussed anything about residents or their liking or longing or loathing. They disliked and liked it at the same time. So among B and C, think over this, think what is going on. Up to this point, I heard about establishment of cantonment. B goes in details that the cantonment area further captured and expanded further, and it acquired distinct cultural political salience as it was governed by British. This one goes into details of cantonment. Here C is talking about this creation of cantonment. This creation of cantonment was a beginning of a very different Bangalore from what earlier existed around the old fort. So here, if you ask me, C seems a continuation of this, and B further elaboration of C, because I'm just now reading that Bangalore cantonment has been set up. So with this setup, it was a beginning of a new Bangalore, and then I can go about and say that this cantonment gradually expanded further and acquired more and more area. So out of B and C, C makes much more sense than B. B is after C. Here, what are we looking for? Something that completes the passage. In the ending that we read here talks about cantonment being established. With the establishing of this cantonment, Bangalore starts to become a very different place. C makes perfect sense, guys. Good, good. Yes, yes. B seems to come after C further in down the line. Let us try more. So now we have reached para summary. In para summary, you are not supposed to include a lot of new content. You're supposed to summarize whatever is given to you. Furthermore, many times what options do is they deliberately take a sentence that sounds something similar to one of the sentences given in the passage, and they give you as an option. That is a very common trap. In para summary, you cannot use the exact same language taken from the passage. Another common trap is, and it's very common in CAT and XAT, deliberately the options will start in the same manner. Very long phrases will be identical. Then a small change like a word only will be introduced, or a tone modifier like although will be mentioned, or moreover will be mentioned. So a tone modifier will be mentioned. That will give you the right answer. So go on, give it a try. I'll wait 3 minutes for you. Try this. Comment if you have reached the answer. Let me start this for you. Although, whenever something starts with although, they will give you some information and they will negate it later on. Although, almost all climate scientists agree that Earth is gradually warming. They agree on something. They agree on something. Maybe now they will tell you something they don't agree on. They have long been of two minds. When you have two minds, means you have two thoughts, you have two opinions. Long been of two minds about process of rapid climate shifts within the larger period of change. Some have speculated that the process works like a giant oven or freezer, warming or cooling the whole planet at the same time. So entire Earth will become warm, will become cool, not both together. Once it is warm, then it cools down, then again warm, then it's cooled down, like an oven or a giant freezer. The entire planet heats or cools together. Others think that shifts occur on opposing schedules in the northern and southern hemispheres. Like the others, what they are saying is, if the upper part is warm, the lower part will be cool, or vice versa. Or vice versa. Read this part. Others thinks that shift occurs on opposing schedules in northern and southern hemispheres, like exaggerated seasons. So you will have higher intensity season, you will have lower intensity season, higher intensity season. The recent research in Germany examining climate patterns in southern hemisphere. Where are the Germans studying? Germans are studying only in the southern part of this. You need to take care of such specific information while looking for summaries as well. Recent research in Germany examining climate patterns in southern hemisphere at the end of last ice age strengthens the idea that warming and cooling occur at alternate times in two hemispheres. So now more and more evidence is supporting this theory. That means this is being rejected slowly. Strengthens. There is evidence that strengthens. It is not confirmed. We don't have 100% proof. There is strengthening data. A more definite answer to this debate. Which debate? This is one argument, argument one. This is argument two. This is the debate. Whether it cools and warms at the same time or it does it alternate times, will allow scientists to better predict when and how quickly the next climate shift will happen. What will allow? The answer to the debate. Debate is argument one is right, argument two is right. Options, you must read everything thoroughly and then second attempt you must mark your answers. Don't say I'm feeling C is the answer, mark it. No, you must read D as well. Scientists have been unsure whether rapid changes in the Earth's climate happen all at once or upon opposing schedules in different hemispheres. Everything is beautifully covered up to this point. Up to this point, everything has been covered. See, up to this fourth line, everything has been covered. Scientists are unsure. They are of two minds. They are of two minds means unsure. Research will help find a definitive answer and better predict climate shifts in future. So last part is also good to me. Will research help? We do not know. See, read this. This is a trap. A more definitive answer to this debate will help us. Will research be that? Maybe. We do not know. So I'm little concerned about this part. Rest everything is perfect. A is a perfect summary. The research will help or not. We'll come back to this. Scientists have been unsure whether the rapid shifts in Earth climate happens all at once or on opposing schedule in different hemisphere. Do you see option A and option B are identical up to this point? Option A and B are identical up to this point. As I told you in earlier, there's a trap. Usually, what traps do they create for you? They deliberately put same sentences in the beginning. Finding a definitive answer will help. See here, see here, see. This connects better. Getting a definitive answer, finding a definitive answer will help them predict better. This phrase catches the essence of this line. More definitive answers will help. So if you ask me between research and definitive, I'll go with B. Between A and B, I'll definitely go with B. Let us see it further. Option C and D. Research in Germany will help scientists find. See, this is how they have become more specific. Here, the research in Germany has helped. Has helped. Will only Germany research will help? Not necessary. Research could happen in India, could happen somewhere else also. One example has been given that in Germany something has happened, some data has been collected, which is strengthening the idea. So will research in Germany help? There might be more places of research. Will help scientists find definitive answer about warming and cooling. So C is outright gone because of only Germany part. More research rather than debate. See, this is deviating from the passage. More research rather than debate on warming or cooling. It is as if you are putting your opinion here. Don't trust your opinions on others. More research rather than debates. It does not say anywhere that debate is a bad thing or research will give us all the answers, not the debates. On warming or cooling of Earth and exaggerated seasons in its hemispheres will help what? Will help scientists in Germany. Will it help only German scientists predict better future? No, it will help others also. So, guys, the only option that fits or gives me essence of the whole paragraph is B, Bombay. Take your time, read, comprehend, see if you agree with the conclusion. Should I repeat any of the options? Why did we neglect A? Why did we reject A? In comparison to B, I'll say A is not a better choice. Or rather, in comparison to A, B is a far better choice. Because B uses the word debate. The last line says more debates rather than a more definitive answer to this debate will help scientists predict this in better manner. Let us check further. Let us see further. Huh. Maybe net internet fluctuation. I was in the end speaking about why B is a better choice than A because of that word definitive answers. The phrase definitive answers is mentioned there in the last sentence. Definitive answers will help us in predicting better future. Give it a try. Take 3 minutes. Read everything from here to here. Comprehend while you're doing this. Observe why the passage has been written. What is the flow of the tone? We are not going to continue, but we are going to summarize the whole passage. Give it a shot. I'll restart the network in the meantime. Once you reach answer, comment. Comment your answer. Once you have reached the answer, comment. All right, let me start. Modern bourgeois society, said Nietzsche. This person is German philosopher Nietzsche. Was decadent and enfeebled. Very big words. So this philosopher is defining the modern society. Bourgeois means having a materialistic bent. So in actual language, that is usually people who own land, who own material things. So modern society, according to this Nisha guy, is decadent. Decadence means decayed, rotten. Enfeebled. Enfeebled means feeble. Feeble means weak. Enfeebled means weakened. So modern society is rotten and weakened, a victim of excessive development of rational faculties. What is it a victim of? Overthinking, rational faculties. Here, the faculty does not mean a teacher, faculty means your ability. Rational abilities, rational thinking, at the expense of will and instinct. So he's basically saying the modern society has become has become rotten, has become weak because people are focusing less on will and instinct, and they are thinking more and more. Against the liberal rationalist stress on intellect, Nisha argued recognition of dark, mysterious world of instinctual desires. So again, he is saying don't think too much. He is against what? Liberal rationalists. He is against those. Liberal rationalists say focus on intellect. He is saying focus on your desires, dark, mysterious world of desires, and the true forces of life. Smother the will, excessive intellectualizations, and you destroy the spontaneity that sparks cultural creativity and ignites a zest for living. Smother, smother. Say in Hindi we say gala ghotna, smother. to stifle something. Smother the will. With what? With excessive intellectualization, and you will destroy spontaneity, something done on the spot, something done randomly, and and that spontaneity sparks cultural creativity and ignites just for living. So this guy is against too much thinking. Nisha says do random things, do things on the spot, basically live a little. The critical and theoretical outlook destroyed the creative instincts. For man's manifold potential to be realized, he must forego relying on intellect and nurture again the instinctual roots of human existence. So, whenever there's a talk about philosophers, it ends up having difficult words, higher level words. So, here Nisha is saying this, a lot of people call him Nietzsche. No, that's not the right way. Modern society is weak, it is rotten because it has started focusing more and more on rationalization, basically focusing on why rather than doing things, doing spontaneous things. If you smother the will, you will kill the spark of creativity and zest for life, basically love for life. So, which of these options captures the essence best? Nisha argues the decadent and infeeble modern society to forego intellect and give importance to creative instincts. It is a very shortened version. Only one thing has been mentioned: creative instincts. He has spoken about more. He has spoken about will. He has spoken about spontaneity. He has spoken about um, nurturing the intellectual roots. So, A seems like a summary, but very short. It is not capturing most of the points, I'll say. It is capturing only one point, that focus on creative instincts. Let us read further. Nisha argues the decadent and enfeebled modern society to smother the will. He will not ask you to smother the will. He is saying smothering of the will is leading to over intellectualization. He is not going to ask to smother the will. So, do you see up to this point, option A and B are identical? This is a trap. This is what CAT does. You read very fast and you see they are both same and then you make mistakes. No. B is going against what he is saying. You should not smother the will. Smothering of will is leading to these issues. We are keeping A on hold. A does not cover most of the aspects given to us in the passage. Nisha criticizes the intellectuals for enfeebling the modern bourgeois society by not nurturing man's creative instincts. This seems like a good, I'll say, summary, because he started by giving us example that society is rotten, weakened, because of rational faculties have been used more at the expense of so on so on. And here he blames the liberal rationalists. Here the blame is on intellectuals. Here the blame is on liberal rationalists. So I'll be a little, I'll say, little weary of this answer option. Let us read further. Nisha blames excessive intellectualization for the decline of modern society and suggests nurturing creative instincts instead. Here he is blaming the intellectualization, and yes, he has done this 4 to 5 times so far. See, here indirectly he is saying rational faculties are the problem, excessive development of this. Here he says excessive intellectualization is the problem. Here also he is saying go to instinctual roots and avoid excessive intellectualization. So I feel D sounds better. Among A and D, I notice the last part is same. The last part, the suggest nurturing creative instincts, gives importance and suggests nurturing. Let us see that part. He must forego relying on intellectual and nurture again. So here he is making a suggestion. that a person who is looking to increase his potential manifold, a person who is a man who is looking to increase his potential manifold. So to that person, Nisha is suggesting that you forget intellect and you focus on nurturing your roots or creative instincts. So yes, D makes much more sense than any other option so far. Is he saying give more importance, or is he saying nurture those instincts? Because nurture has been used as it is from here. Nurture again. The D is a closer summary as compared to A. One more reason I can negate is, see, he is not saying to leave your intellect altogether. He is telling you, Nisha is telling you, not to rely too much on your intellect. Here the option says छोड़ दो अपने intellect को, दिमाग यूज करना बंद कर दो. So option A, I think it is deviating for two reasons. He is not giving importance to creative instincts. He has been giving that from the first line. He is suggesting you in the end that you should nurture them again. A and D are very close answers. A and D are very close answers. In exam also you'll feel that. Two options you're stuck with. So you have to think again and again what mistake you have made, or what is the issue with one of the options. D is the correct answer, guys. Size has increased. You see, size has drastically increased. Maybe 250, 300 words total using including options. So take 3 minutes, give it a try. Pick up some pace. Comment the answer once you reach answer. Comment answer. There's a difference between knowingness and knowledge. But what is it? Knowingness comes after knowledge. It is only echo of its source, and it is proud to be the echo. So far, if I summarize, the author is explaining me difference between knowingness and knowledge. And the author goes on to tell me knowingness comes from knowledge. Knowledge is at the core, and from knowledge you get knowingness. When you say something is an echo, you are demeaning it. Like Mike Tyson today is an echo of his past self. Echo does not have same strength. Like right now I'm speaking, there's a strength in my voice. But if you hear an echo, echo will be feeble. So here the author is saying knowingness is of less importance. Knowingness comes from knowledge. Knowledge is the source. But it is proud to be the echo. Knowingness is proud to be the echo. So author is being critical about knowingness. One of the liberties of our connected age is that we can be almost infinitely knowing. When he says connected age, I am assuming, I feel like he's talking about internet. We are connected to internet, and we have almost infinitely knowing, means we can search and know things. Consoling our lack of true knowledge with an easy cynicism of acquisition. So here the author is saying, you don't have knowledge, koi baat nahi, search kar lo. Consoling our lack of true knowledge. We don't know things truly how they work, but we can search and read about them. So he's basically talking about superficial knowledge. Knowingness is superficial knowledge, upar ka gyan. It is cheaply glorious to be able to discover almost any fact about the world. And ye confirm kar diya internet ki baat kar raha. On the machine I'm using to write this review, probably using a laptop or a desktop, I experience that liberty as the reward it is, and also a punishment. So he is of two minds. There is some liberty. There is some liberty on his machine. What is that liberty? We'll see. It is also punishment, as both a gift of digital world and a judgment on my second acquaintance with the actual world. So basically he is saying that the liberties, he can find anything about on this device, that is the gift of digital world. But what is the punishment? Second acquaintance. Second means less. Acquaintance means you are acquainted to a lot of people. You know a lot of people. So he's saying actual world he does not know much about, but he can find out through the internet. So finding out is the liberty. Not knowing much of the actual or real world is the punishment. Speak for yourself, you may say. Now he is talking about the reader, us. He is saying that we might tell him, speak for yourself. Who is this we so easily invoked? If knowingness is capitalism's gift to those metropolitan elites who haven't earned it. Now see, listen to this. What is being said here? What is the person saying? See, internet costs money. You need to lay down cables. You need to have satellites and all those things. So he's saying the knowingness, this internet, this connectivity is capitalism's gift to those in metropolitan elites who haven't earned it. That means you and I haven't earned this. There are also multitudes of people constrained by poverty and political oppression and the bad luck of obscurity. Something which obscure is not in front of it, it's hidden from you. Who don't deserve the brutal knowledge. Kya bol raha? Listen to this very carefully. These elite people can search things. They have the freedom of knowingness. these poor people, or because of political oppression or because of obscurity, they are not seen by others. They don't deserve the brutal knowledge. What is the knowledge? They are living in the real world. See, knowledge is what? See here, what is the author comparing knowledge with? Actual world. So here, what is the knowledge? They don't deserve this brutal knowledge. The word is brutal. The real world experience they don't deserve. That is being meted out daily on their lives. They would be very grateful for the privileges of knowingness. तो थोड़ा cynically बातें कर रहा है यहाँ पे author. He is saying the old person sitting in a village will be very grateful if you give him the privilege of knowledge, privilege of knowingness. What is privilege of knowingness? That is given to elite who can search things, who have access to internet. Basically, he is saying this person is living in real world and he would prefer to be in the world of elite and search things, know things, not actually live them. Like somebody sitting in some high-rise building might be studying or reading about landslide in Kerala or flood somewhere in Bangladesh. So these people who are actually facing floods in the real life in Bangladesh would be happy to read about it in a manner. He is saying these people will be grateful for the privilege of knowingness. So when we ask you to read from different sources like Aeon or Economic Times, this is the kind of analysis we want from you. You go behind the meaning of that word. What is the author trying to say? Because in exam, once you match your tone with the author, it will be easier for you to get answers for any kind of question, except for grammar. Grammar is something you need to know rules for, vocabulary as well. So here what are we looking for? Something that captures author's arguments. Author's arguments are knowingness is weak, knowledge is strong, internet is good and also bad. It basically cuts you off from real world. You don't get real world experiences. And poor people also someday would prefer to have the gift of knowingness and not face the brutal knowledge of the world. Those overlooked by capitalism would willingly choose knowledge, and this diminishes. See, who are overlooked by capitalism? Poor people. They will willingly choose what? Knowingness. They will willingly choose knowingness, not knowledge, because they are overlooked by capitalism. They're already facing real world. They already have knowledge. They will choose knowingness. So at this point, I feel option A is going against the message of the whole passage. Let me read further. And this diminishes the value of argument of cynicism made by sheltered elites about knowledge. Sheltered elites are not making any arguments here. They are enjoying knowingness. They are enjoying privileges. So A does not make sense. It is not only going against the theme of the passage, कुछ और ही बातें कर रहे हैं वहां पे, that elite people are passing judgments and all. Capitalism shields the elites from a full acquaintance with the real world. Yes, ये सब बोल रहा है. Because they have money. They have money. So it is shielding them from real world while exposing the poor to the world, and this explains their different attitude towards privileges. ये क्या बोल गए? Is there any talk about attitude of these elite people towards their privileges? They enjoy their privileges. They have not earned these privileges. The privilege of knowingness, connectivity. See, up to the first part, capitalism shields the elite from a full acquaintance with the world. It makes perfect sense to me. While exposing the poor to the real world. That also makes sense to me. And this explains their different attitude. Whose different attitude? Poor persons or the capitalist people? Their different attitude towards privileges. Let us keep B on the back burner. If you have any doubt, let us keep B on the back burner. The ease of acquisition is a reward for underprivilege. Underprivilege को चीजें आसानी से मिल जाती हैं, ये किस राह चल पड़े? नो. चीप ग्लोरी, क्या बोल रहे हैं ये सब? So far B makes more sense. What does D say? The cynical argument of the ease of knowingness wanes when one grasps that those less fortunate would gladly embrace the ease rather than an immersed acquaintance with the world. See, D captures everything. There's a cynical argument. See, here also there's a talk about cynical discussion, cynical argument. Here you see, listen to this part. The cynical argument of the ease of knowingness wanes. That means the ease of knowingness wanes. फीका पड़ जाता है. When one grasps that those less fortunate would gladly embrace the ease. Read the last part. People who are actually living in the real world are actually facing those difficulties. They would prefer to have that ease of knowingness rather than having to face the real world. D captures everything, guys. D captures everything. I also feel option B is a little narrow. Option B is not talking about knowledge, knowingness. Option B, I also feel, is not talking about the reversal of this feeling that a poor person would prefer to have that ease of knowingness. I'll say reversal of attitude. Reversal of attitude. I'm saying reversal of attitude is not mentioned in B, which is mentioned very clearly in D. These are advanced level passages. I'll say there's a lot of information floating around. So on the outside, you'll feel it is a description of how internet works. But there is more philosophy. There's basically a comparison between rich and poor and how they would prefer to switch places. D. D. Franz Kafka, one of the great writers who migrated to America and wrote about American society and compared the living in American society with Europe. Do I need to have knowledge about this person? No, not necessary. Go on. Take 3 minutes, read everything. Take 3 minutes. This is hardly 150 to 200 words passage along with options. Very good. Let us read. Let us read what is being said, what Kafka has done. The century since Franz Kafka was born has been marked by the idea of modernism, self consciousness, new among centuries. So, before this, in a manner, the author is trying to say the self consciousness, that means thinking about self, our actions, was not there in earlier centuries. A consciousness of being new. 60 years after his death, Kafka epitomizes one aspect of this modern mindset, a sensation of anxiety and shame. See, Kafka is epitomizing Kafka, whose center cannot be located and therefore cannot be placated. Placated, some people say, placated, some people say. See, uh, when you see somebody is very angry, you try to tell them Shantara, Shantara. So placated or placated means lowering the intensity of emotions in a manner. A sense of infinite difficulty within things, impending every step, a sensitivity acute beyond usefulness, as if the nervous system flayed of its old height. Flayed means जैसे कहते हैं ना खालो धेड़ देना. So the nervous system has lost its hide. Hide means chamdiya protection in this case, of social usage, religious belief, and must record every touch as pain. बड़ी खतरनाक बात है. We'll read this one more time. If Kafka's peculiar and highly original In Kafka's peculiar and highly original case, this dreadful quality is mixed with immense tenderness, oddly good humor, and certain severe and reassuring formality. क्या बोल रहा है? Kafka epitomizes. Kafka, in a way, represents one aspect of our mindset, that is sensation of anxiety, shame. Center cannot be located means the reason behind the shame and anxiety cannot be located, because you cannot find the reason, you cannot lessen the anxiety and shame. And also there's a sense of infinite difficulty on every step. And this acute sense, this sharp sense is beyond useful. It's of no use to you. What is the reason? As if the nervous system, your nerves are open to the world. Your nerves are no longer protected. The height of social usage and religious belief. Sometimes religious beliefs save you from world. Religious belief protect you from other, I'll say, hurting thoughts. So every touch, every feel is pain to your nervous system. And Kafka in this case is peculiar because his work involves tenderness, good humor, and to some degree reassuring formality. सब ठीक है type of thing. The combination makes him an artist. The combination, what combination? Shame, anxiety, infinite difficulty, that feeling, his tenderness. So in a manner, he in all the negatives he brings in something positive. His tenderness, good humor, reassuring formality. This makes him an artist. But rarely an artist can an artist have struggled against greater inner resistance and more sincere diffidence as the worth of his art. So basically, we are saying his art. His art means his work. His work has faced a lot of resistance. He himself has faced inner resistance, and from outside also world, maybe he has faced resistance. Which of these options captures all of this? बड़े heavy passages हैं. Which of these has captured all of this? Despite Kafka's shyness and struggles, he is a quintessential modernist artist, as he, quite unlikely any other, manages to juxtapose tenderness and humor with pain and implacable sense of anxiety and shame. Bhai Sahab. I read all the words given to me that are there in the passage, but here this quintessential. Quintessential would mean, I'll say, again, epitomize and quintessential are same. Like Gandhi was a quintessential pacifist. I will not exactly say pacifist. Pacifist, somebody who does not do anything or does not want to do anything. I'll say uh, quintessential means representing something or optimizing something. So it contains all. When you say juxtapose, juxtapose is to keep things side by side and compare. Here, the negativity and positivity side by side is kept and compared. Tenderness, humor, pain. There's talk about pain also. This one captures everything. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this. Implacable sense of anxiety and shame. Yeah, this captures everything. Kafka's ability to lace his literature. Lace his literature. When you say lace his literature means add things to his writings. Nowhere. See, I know, you know, he was a writer. He wrote stories. But nowhere there is a discussion of his literature or his writing work. B is gone. B is gone. Let me read further. With the themes of modernism. No, 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 not themes of modernism. Such as anxiety, shame, pain, intermingled with humor, tenderness, makes him original artist hona chahiye tha, not modernist. It is about by adding tenderness, he has been called an artist, not modernist. B is gone. Kafka was ahead of his time as he exemplifies. Again, exemplifies is also epitomizes, exemplifies, shows characteristics of. The modernist mindset, very good. C also looks very close to A. Modernist mindset of anxiety, pain. But he is raised to the level of an artist who only, ये इसने काम खराब कर दिया, who only artist only when, no 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 no. See, he mixes positivity with negativity, which makes him an artist. That may not be the only reason. The word only has destroyed the answer option C for me. Kafka was ahead of his time. We do not know that. We do not know that. Once Kafka was born, the idea of modernism was there, his works and so on and so on. So, was he ahead of him? I do not know, but he exemplifies modernist mindset, yes, because of idea of anxiety, pain. But he is raised to the level of an artist, as in only if there was when he manages to mix, I'll go with this. The word only takes away this option from me. So far, B looks like A looks like a clear winner so far. Let's read D. Kafka's shyness and see this part. See, Kafka's shyness and struggles. Again, it says the same thing. Struggles, inner struggles, are an outcome of modernism. He displays wherein the thoughts are permeated with anxiety and pain. But he is an artist. He uses humor and formality as reassurance. No, no, no. नो 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 ये थोड़ा फ्रेज ये फिट नहीं बैठ रहा. Let's read D one more time. Kafka's shyness and inner struggles are an outcome. No, he was shy and he had inner struggles that we understand. But was it an outcome of modernism? No, not necessarily. No, it is not mentioned. It is not said anywhere that this was outcome of modernism. Modernism has anxiety and has shame, but was modernism a reason for this? No, not necessarily. He displays wherein the thoughts are permeated with anxiety. Again, he has not mentioned his thoughts. His works deal with these things. D is gone. A is the answer. A is the answer. A is the answer, guys. In a manner, we are praising Kafka's inner struggle and how he is able to overcome his inner struggle in his work through tenderness, through good humor, and there is a sense of reassuring formality. Try. Take 2-3 minutes. A short passage, on animal kingdom, talking about insects and their survival and birds and whatnot, for science based. North American walnut sphinx moth caterpillars. North American location, then description, walnut sphinx moth caterpillars, then their scientific name is given. Look like easy meals for birds. When you say something look like, so you're probably going to oppose it. A person looks very calm, फिर आप अपोज करना शुरू करते हो. But they have a trick up their sleeves. But के बाद they have a trick up their sleeves. They produce whistles that sound like bird alarm calls, scaring potential predators away. Who are the predators? Birds. Birds are the predators here. Predators who hunt. At first, scientists suspected birds were simply startled by the loud noise. But a new study suggests a more sophisticated mechanism. The caterpillar's whistle appeared to mimic a bird alarm call, sending avian something that flies, avian predators scrambling for cover. When pecked by a bird, caterpillars whistle by compressing their bodies like an accordion According is a musical instrument in which you press, it moves around, and through air the sound is created, and force air out through specialized hole in their sides. The whistles are impressively loud. They have been measured to be over 50 decibels from 5 centimeters away from the caterpillar, considering they are made by 2-inch long insects. So caterpillars are 2-inch long. When birds come to eat them, they compress their body, release air through holes, and they make loud sound. What are the scientists surprised? Earlier they thought because the insect is making sound, birds fear and run away. They fear the sound. Now they are realizing the insect is mimicking the alarm call. You see, you might have seen birds nearby. When they see a cat or when they see a hunter, they make specific kind of sounds to warn others. That is an alarm call. So this insect has learned to copy the alarm call of birds. This insect has learned to copy the alarm call of birds. That is what has surprised the scientists. Let us go through this. North American walnut sphinx moth caterpillars will whistle periodically. Do they whistle periodically every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes? Is there a cycle around? No. They do it when they are attacked. To ward off predator birds, yes. They have specialized vocal tracts. Do they have vocal tracts like us, like monkeys, like other animal? No, they don't have vocal tracts. They make this sound through holes in their body by compressing air. Air is out. North American walnut sphinx moth caterpillars can whistle very loudly. Yes, they can whistle very loudly. The loudness of their whistle is shocking as they are very small insects. Very good. This captures a lot of the essence of the passage, but it does not capture one key area. Mimicking sound of the bird. The loudness has been mentioned, yes. Mimicking part is completely missing from B. B I will keep on hold. B has every other part, that they whistle loudly. It shocks the birds, yes. North American walnut sphinx moth caterpillars, in a case of acoustic deceiving, deceiving, produce whistle that mimic the bird alarm calls to defend themselves. Yes. C is a far better choice than B. Let us read D further. North American walnut sphinx moth caterpillar, in a case of deception and camouflage. Camouflage is when you change your appearance to hide. Nowhere does the passage talk about changing appearance to hide. See, a lot of times you see army people wearing those green uniform with patches. That is camouflage, to hide themselves in trees, in bushes. So camouflage has nowhere been mentioned. So that goes out. Why is A gone? They don't whistle periodically. They don't have vocal tracts. They are not doing it through their voice. Why does B go away? B was a good choice, but as compared to C, B is gone. Because B did not capture the mimic part or why the birds flew away. See, here the clearly scientists earlier thought they flew away because of loudness of noise. Then the research tells them that the insect is mimicking the sound of the alarm call. So that part should be mentioned, not just the loudness. C is a better suitable answer here. Let us try more. Again, Socrates, a philosopher. Francis Bacon, I'll say, philosopher and in a manner a scientist, a physicist. Go on. It will be about science and philosophy. Take 3 minutes. If not, you want me to start it directly, we can do that as well. Both Socrates and Bacon were good at asking useful questions. In fact, Socrates is largely credited with coming up with a way of asking questions, the Socratic method, which itself is at the core of scientific method, popularized by Bacon. So basically, Bacon is relying on Socrates' method. It is not said Socrates' method was scientific one. Socratic method was asking right questions, correct questions. And that Socratic method is at the core of scientific method popularized by, you want to try? Okay. Comment your answers. Good, very good. Let us confirm whether that is right or wrong. Very good. Let me first read and comprehend. This will always happen. That two options are very close, and you should test this in mock. See, once you realize you are stuck between two options, abhi se try karo mark one answer. In 1-2 mocks, you do this. If you feel your answer is getting wrong, you're getting wrong answer to this method, mark the other one from next time onwards. Score पक्का बढ़ेगा. 2 से 3 क्वेश्चन और बचेंगे आपके. Maybe it will add uh, 8 to 9 marks to your attempt. Both Socrates and Bacon were very good at asking useful questions. In fact, Socrates is credited with the method for asking right questions. It's called Socratic method, which itself is at the core of scientific method, popularized by Bacon. The Socratic method disproves arguments by finding exceptions to them. So Socrates' method is to disprove things, disproves arguments by finding exceptions to them, and can therefore lead your opponent to the point where they admit something that contradicts their original position. In common with Socrates, see now when you say in common, you are going to give me more data. So they both ask questions. Socrates did it to disprove somebody. In common with Socrates, Bacon stressed it was important to disprove a theory as it was to prove one. So Socrates was about negating things. Francis Bacon is about both sides prove one. And real world observation and experimentations were key to achieve both aims. So not only questions, he is going further and saying observation and experimentation were key to achieve both aims. What are the both aims? Prove or disprove. Bacon also saw a collaborative affair with scientists working together, challenging each other. So he's saying scientists must come together and work together. Both Socrates and Bacon advocated clever questioning of opponents to disprove their arguments and theory, not just disprove, prove as well. Gone. Both Socrates and Bacon advocated challenging arguments and theories by observation experimentation. B looks close, but notice here it was Bacon who said to have observation and real world experimentation, not both. So B I'm not very sure about. I'll keep B on the back burner. I'll keep B as a safe option. Both Socrates and Bacon advocated confirming and theories, but no, not necessarily confirming, rejecting also. This one uh, for me, this one is the end for option C. It was not about just confirming, it was about rejecting as well. C is gone. Both Socrates and Bacon advocated examining arguments and theories from both sides to prove them. Here D says prove them. When see when you say both sides, so it's not just prove, it is disprove as well. See, if I give you a theory earth is flat and you test this from both sides, so prove or disprove, you're looking from both sides. So I'll go with D, Delhi. D, Delhi. B is also going beyond the discussion. Main theme of the passage is to prove or disprove theories. B only talks about challenging arguments. D, D, D. Go on, try. Take 3 minutes. Again, looks like a large passage, maybe 250 words plus or minus. I always include options as well in counting words. Very good. Let us try. A fundamental property of language is that it is slippery and messy and more liquid than solid, a gelatinous mess that changes shape to fit. So basically, language is not rigid. It is slippery, messy, it is liquid, it is gelatinous, it fits. It changes the shape to fit. As Wittgenstein would remind us, usage has no sharp boundaries. He is basically saying a word can be used in many, many ways. Usage has no sharp boundaries. When something has sharp boundary, it is well defined. Oftentimes, the only way to determine the meaning of a word is to examine how it is used. This insight is often described as meaning in use doctrine. There are differences between the meaning in use doctrine and the dictionary first theory of meaning. So basically, the person is saying, don't mug up the meaning of the word. Dictionary is rigid. You should understand the word through its uses. As cat people say, don't mug up. The dictionary's careful fixing of words to definition like butterflies pinned under glass can suggest that this is how language works. The definition can seem to ensure and fix meaning of words just as gold standard can back a country's currency. So somehow he has brought in currency and exchange in definition of words. He's simply saying dictionary is so rigid, it is like putting butterflies or pin butterflies after behind a glass, framing butterflies behind a glass. What this person found in the circulation of ordinary language, however, was a free floating currency of meaning. So he's saying gold is not the only standard. It's not the only standard. It is free floating. The currency is free floating. Basically, he's saying the words are changing their meaning or context. The value of each word arises out of the exchange. When you and I discuss something, the way I use the word determines the meaning of it, the exchange between you and I. The lexicographer. Who is the lexicographer? Who the person who writes words, creates dictionaries. Grapher means somebody who studies, like people who create maps. They are also graphers of some kind or other. Lexicographers. Abstracts a meaning from that exchange, which is then set in the conventions of the dictionary. Here, in the last sentence, author is saying something very different from earlier. Dictionaries are what? They contain fixed meanings. Like butterflies have been fixed somewhere. But butterfly should actually be flying. When you see a butterfly in the wall, you cannot say that is the natural state of the butterfly. That's what the person is saying. Now, here in the last sentence, what the person is saying is when a lexicographer hears you and I speak, we exchange words. The lexicographer should find the meaning of the word from the exchange and then put it in the dictionary. So basically, the exchange should lead to dictionary, not other way around. So author is saying exchange is more important. That the usage of the word is more important, and that usage should be part of dictionary, not other way around. Dictionary meaning should not be thrust upon us for usage. Dictionaries are like gold standards, artificial, theoretical, and dogmatic. Actual meaning of the word is their free exchange value. Value ka to part I do not know, but free exchange of word, yes. A lot of things have been covered in A. I'll keep A in my mind. Language is already slippery. Given this, accounting for meaning use will exasperate. So no, ये उल्टी बातें कर रहा है. He is saying language is already slippery, and if you start getting the meaning from meaning in use, it will exasperate. Exasperate is to make it worse. It will make the problem worse. So this is going against everything that is mentioned in the paragraph. B is gone. Meaning is dynamic. Definitions are static. ये देखो. Meaning is dynamic. कम से कम 6 बार बोल दिया learn from usage. तो meaning is dynamic. Meaning can change. Definition is static. यहाँ बोला है ना. the dictionary first approach where dictionary fixes words definition static. The meaning in use theory helps us understand that definition of words are culled from their meaning in exchange and use, not vice versa. ये कह रहा है culled means taken away, cut off. ये बोल रहा है जो आप हम वर्ड्स यूज करते हैं उसको देख के उनकी मीनिंग कट ऑफ करके एक्सचेंज के थ्रू बाद में रिवर्स होती है, नॉट वाइस वर्सा. द वर्ड्स वी यूज वो मीनिंग बताता है. C captures everything. Let us read D once. The meaning of words in dictionary is clear. Yes. Fixed. Yes. Less dangerous. Danger का कोई बात ही नहीं है. D is gone. So only option A and C are there. Only option A and C are there, which are capturing, I'll say, almost everything here. Between A and C, dictionaries are like gold standards. Yes. It says that. Yes. Artificial, artificial, theoretical, yes. Dogmatic, something that is fixed, rigid, yes. Artificial, I don't agree with. Otherwise, theoretical and dogmatic, yes. Actual meaning of the word is their free exchange value. Actual meaning of the word should be derived from their free exchange value. A and C are very close. A and C are very close. They are saying almost the same thing. Meaning is dynamic, definition is static. The meaning in use theory helps us understand the definition of words are culled. Yes. C captures much more of the last part. The last part. It is not captured in A. In last part, what is being said is when words are exchanged, lexicographer pick up the meaning in use and that turns in dictionary. That is mentioned in C, that is missing from A. Otherwise, C and A are very, very close options. Let us try one more set. Try. Take 3 minutes. Why C? C speaks about the last part of the passage. If you see option B, C, and D, they start in the same manner. A very short passage, but options B, C, and D start in the identical manner. Be careful there. Let us try. Artificial embryo twinning is a relatively low-tech way of making clones. So basically, this process is low-tech. You don't need advanced tech. It's for making clones. Making clones. As the name suggests, this technique mimics the natural process that creates identical twins. In nature, the twins form very early in development when embryo splits in two. So first, the question goes on to tell us it is low tech, it is used to make clones. And then it says this mimics nature. So it is mimic means copying nature, which creates identical twins. In nature, twins form very early in development when embryo splits in two. Twinning happens in the first days after egg and sperm join, while embryo is made of just a small number of unspecialized cells. Each half of embryo continues dividing on its own, ultimately developing into separate, complete individuals. So, a lot of scientific knowledge is being shared with us here. We are being told what is the exact process through which two individuals are created. Since since they developed from same fertilized eggs, resulting individuals of genetic identical. So I feel a lot of this information is basically used as exposition. The main part is that artificial embryo twinning is low tech. It is used to make clones. It copies the natural process of creating identical twins, and then it goes on to tell us how it is created. So I feel from here onwards, we don't have much data of, I'll say, significance. Maybe this part is useful, that they are genetically identical. Maybe, I do not know. Embryo twinning is just like natural development of twins, where during fertilization twins are formed. Yes, seems like it, but it is just like natural. It is identical to natural. No, it mimics. We'll come back to this. It mimics. Artificial embryo twinning is low tech, unlike natural development. Not unlike, it is like. It is like natural, but it is identical or not, we don't know. B is gone. B is definitely gone. It is not unlike natural, it is like natural. So A makes a lot of sense so far. Artificial embryo twinning is low tech and mimetic. Mimetic means copying. And mimetic of natural development of genetic identity. C. Next part is also same. The only difference between A and C is the word mimetic, because that word is here. That word has been used here. It is like natural, yes, it copies natural development of genetic identical twins from the embryo after fertilization. That is also mentioned here. So C makes most sense so far. C makes most sense. Let us read D. Artificial embryo twinning is low tech and is close to natural development. Close to natural development. So A and D are saying the same thing. It is close to, it's just like natural. But C is the best one. C is the most accurate one because it uses the word mimic. It copies the natural process of development. We don't have to go into details that the eggs are fertilized through sperm and so on and so on. We don't have to go into all those details, but it is mimicking that, almost identical to it. C, Calcutta. Now I'll see you in some time with the quant session. We are starting with algebra. I've shared the timing in the group. So I'll see you in some time. Yeah. Bye-bye.